I'm currently using a 13-inch MacBook Air to edit my videos. Now, because the internal 128GB SSD is a bit small, I use an external 1TB hard drive as a scratch disk. Now, of course, an external drive is a bit of a bulky thing to carry around with a MacBook Air. So what I've done, I put a spec case on it, which is like a plastic covering, and to that I attach some Velcro. And that means I can then stick the hard drive on the back of the MacBook and have an all-in-one editing device I can put on my knee while I'm watching telly and things. The problem with that is that the hard drive's a little bit too heavy for the screen. It tends to drag it back. Also, there's a bit of a problem with vibration, which was noticeable in one of my videos where a microphone picked that up. So I need to find an alternative to this. Well, the alternative is to use an external SSD. Now, I thought that would be an easy thing to find, but it turns out there aren't many external SSDs. Internal SSDs are very easy to find. There's loads of different people make those, but the external ones are a little bit more rare. Now, I did manage to find one or two. This is the one I've picked to do this review of. It's a Transcend 128GB USB 3.0 drive, which is about £110, which is quite a lot of money for 128 gigs. There's a 256 gig model as well, and that's £211, but that was too much money for me. Now, those prices are crazy when you compare them to my 1TB Samsung M3 external USB 3 drive, which is about £60. £60 for a terabyte versus £110 for 128 gigs. Anyway, I got one in because I needed it, so let's see how it works. Here's a QR code for those people that are into scanning those things. That takes you to the website. Other things on the box, it mentions that it's got USB 3.0 speeds, of course, but it will work with USB 2.0 as well, but that would be pointless to plug this into that. Here's some more specs on the side of the box, things like size, weight, all that kind of stuff. It's got a one-touch backup thing, which again, you wouldn't be using backup on a SSD. You might as well get a normal hard drive for that and save yourself quite a lot of money. Let's have a look inside the box. So there it is on the top. We'll just take that off. There's this white box in there which has the cables and things. I'll just show you what you get inside the box. There's this little pouch that you can carry the hard drive around in if that's the kind of thing that you get into. There's a USB 3.0 lead there, the usual kind that's used for external hard drives. There's the thing itself, as you can see, sort of plastic case on it, quite small. This end's the business end. There's just the backup button and the plug for the USB in there, so there you go. One thing about it, it's got one of those plastic sheets on it, which you've got to peel off, and then that makes it very shiny. The weight of the hard drive, well, let's check the old one first. It's 156 grams for my 1TB USB 3 external normal hard drive thingamajig. This little one here says 53.1 grams. Actually, that's a bit wrong, because when I look at the specs, it says it should be 56 grams. So maybe my scales are a little bit off, or maybe they were overestimating, including the cable or something. But regardless, it's a lot lighter than the old device. Also, it's quite a bit smaller, as you can see. Also, quite a bit thinner as well. I assume it uses less power, and of course it doesn't vibrate because it's got no moving parts in it. Now, here's what it looks like on the back of my MacBook Air. That Velcro's probably in the wrong place now, but just to demonstrate it anyway, you can tilt it back like this, and the weight of it, with it being reduced, doesn't affect the screen balance at all, which is nice. Now, of course, it comes as FAT32 format like they always do. Had to reformat that to the Mac format. But when I formatted it, it's still got 127.82GB usable space on it, which is nice. Now, I'll try a speed test using USB 3.0, of course, with the old 1TB drive and then this new one. So first off, the old 1TB drive will copy across this 10GB file, and I'll use this stopwatch application. So we'll start the stopwatch and drag the file across to the old drive. And it's going to tell me in a second how long it estimates it's going to take. It reckons about 3 minutes there, so we'll let it go on with that, and I'm not going to sit you here all that time. We'll move forward. Right, so here we are now, 2 minutes 45 seconds or so, and it's only got a little bit to go, and there you go. So stop the stopwatch about 2 minutes 50 if you allow for me pressing the button a bit late and a bit early and things. Anyway, we'll start the other one off now. So remember, 2 minutes 50 seconds. Let's try the same 10 gig file on the new one and just see how long it's going to take on that one. It says about a minute, which is good. Let's see if it really is a minute. We'll just move forward in time again and have a look. Right, so it wasn't a minute, it's a minute and something. Let's see, about a minute 17 or a minute 16 there. Anyway, so about half the time, so twice as fast. So that's exactly what I was hoping for. In the SSD's favour, it is faster, smaller, lighter, it's silent, it's got no moving parts, so no vibrations, and it will use less power. But on the flip side of the coin, it is insanely expensive for the amount of memory that you're actually getting. So for most people at the moment, it's probably a better option to get a traditional external hard drive, but for me I needed something silent, small and light, so this was suitable. If you're watching this video and you're a little bit confused as to why 128GB of SSD storage costs over £100 when you've just gone out and bought 2 petabytes of SSD storage for 10 space dollars so that you can edit your 8K video footage of your hoverboard on it, then you really need to look at the date the video is recorded, because the price of memory and storage always falls, and this is the price at the time this video was recorded. Moving back to the current time, I'm surprised that there aren't more manufacturers producing small external SSDs like this one. Now I know at these kind of prices it's going to be a bit of a niche product, but it is something that I've found very useful and it fulfilled my requirements perfectly. Now of course moving forward prices will reduce and capacities will increase, and at some point we're going to have no more mechanical hard drives at all. But at the moment, while we're left with the current devices, I've got to say that if you want an external hard drive, of course, mechanical's the way to go at the moment, but if you can afford it, this is a very good external SSD that I thoroughly recommend. For the moment, thanks for watching.